Welcome to On Point, the mindset podcast for dancers, artists, athletes, and creatives, helping artists get out of their heads so they can get into their creative bag. I'm your host, Latte, aka Lottie Dottie. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another great episode of On Point. This week, I wanted to talk all about balance. So balance between being a professional dancer, an artist, an athlete, and I think that we know all about that. So nowadays, it's really not uncommon to see dancers in an entrepreneurial type of role because as a dancer, you have to run your own business to be a professional dancer. And with me today to talk all about that delicate balance between entrepreneur and professional dancer, athlete, artist, I have my good friend, Pepz.
Hey guys. Hey.
So for those of you that don't know my friend, I would like to introduce him. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do, what your background is, and
Yeah. So my name is Pepz. I am an artist. I act, dance, and sing professionally.
Okay, period.
I am also a coach specializing in career and confidence. In my background, God, so many things. I'm like, where do we go? But no, my background is actually corporate America. I began working when I was like 17, 18 in corporate America in human resources. And actually began dancing when I was 21, I think. And I was horrible. I didn't think I was horrible, but everybody was like...
Horrible friend.
No, literally, I started off and the teacher was like, we're just going to walk to the beat together. Like, that's how like bad it was. But thankfully, by the grace of God and a lot of hard work, I've been able to like work with like Post Malone, Justin Timberlake, Nervo, Diplo, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
So super thankful and blessed and honored.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I met Pepz in a dance class. We were in house, and I remember we added each other on the gram, and I was like stalking you as I usually do all my new friends, and I'm like, okay, period. He's a coach too. I love that, and I love that because I love seeing dancers. I just see so many more of us stepping into this like coaching space, mentoring space. Just being an entrepreneur, a business owner on our own. So I was like, I have to bring my talented friend on to talk about this today.
Thank you.
So I also did a little survey. Some of you guys saw my question on Instagram if you follow there. And we're just going to dive right in. We're just going to have this discussion about balancing business with dance. So I want to know, Pepz, like, first of all, when you were telling your story about like getting into dance, what made you want to get into dancing?
Honestly, it was like two things, maybe three. One, I was in college and I would go out and like get drunk, like all college kids do. And I remember I would like get drunk and I would like start dancing and like people would be like, "Are you a professional dancer?" And I'd be like, "What is that?"
God, yes,
literally, I had no idea that was even a thing.
Yeah.
So it kept happening. And so that was like sign number one. And then sign number two was I was doing like an off-Broadway play. I think I was like a sophomore in college. And the director was like, you should take a dance class. She was like, you have a great body. You have a great like presence when you are on stage. And I was like, why not? Yeah. Like, why not? Sure. And I remember, I think I went to Steps on Broadway.
Yeah, because you grew up East Coast, right?
I did.
Okay, period.
I did. And I think the song was to a Missy song called Mommy, I think. And I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. I was like, it was crazy because from one, I was like, I didn't even know like that was a thing. Like I didn't grow up like wanting to dance. I grew up wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is like a crazy world. And then two, I just had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in the space from like, up until I moved to LA where like dancing was just like for fun. Yeah. But what was cool, it was like within a few months of like me training in dance, like I would just get asked to do jobs. Like not like big major jobs, but I remember.
But still, that's like a big accomplishment because it's hard to get jobs out here. Shit.
Yeah, within a few months I was like getting paid to dance and I was like, what? I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. But that was kind of like what it was. Like people were like saying like you should dance, and I was like maybe, and I was like you should dance, and I was like maybe, and then I was like let me try it out, and then I absolutely like fell in love with dance.
Oh, I I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, on the flip side of that, what made you want to get into coaching? And tell the audience a little bit more about like the type of coaching you do.
Yeah, so I'll start with the how coaching happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a few things. One, I was in HR, human resources,
Yeah.
and people would always come to me and like they would just like kind of like unload whatever issues they were having.
Yeah.
And I would always tell myself like giving advice and like people like that's great and like so on and so forth. So like I kept like seeing myself like doing stuff naturally, you know? And I was also like paying attention to like what life was showing me, like similar to like when people were like, go dance. And I was like, okay, eventually. That I was like, let me pay attention to like what life is like allowing me to do, right? So that was like one thing. It was like being in HR and like having people like naturally come to me for like advice and help. And then I ended up joining a network marketing company with Tia Rivera back in 2014.
Yeah.
And the way that happened was Tia was like killing it in dance. She was killing it in business. And she didn't have a job. I did. And I was like, I want that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So a friend, Melanie, she invited me to like a presentation. I was like, I don't know. And then, you know, I spoke to Tia. She was killing it. So I was like, you know, if anything, I'm like, let me just join this business.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of being in proximity to people.
Absolutely.
That had what I wanted.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and also like networking, like just
Hell yeah.
networking with people that were ahead and like getting to like pick their brains and stuff like that. So with network marketing, I thought it was just like make money. That's like the thing people think about is like get rich quick scheme.
Right.
Which is crazy because like for you to make money in network marketing, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But in network marketing, they do a lot of personal development.
Exactly.
So they do, you know, seminars, trainings, conventions, and it's like not even about sales. It's about like mindset and like goal setting and getting over whatever
imposter syndrome,
limiting beliefs, like whatever shit you have up here, like you kind of have to like learn about it. And with network marketing, it was like crash course into the world of personal development.
Yeah.
And I just remember like being in a lot of these like trainings and seminars and feeling like I can see myself like doing that, like specifically like that for people. And like HR, like people would come to me for like advice, you know, they're like, how do you like manage working full time, going to dance class and trying to build a business?
Shit, let us know.
And it's like, I've always been really obsessed with like time.
Yeah.
So like my schedule is usually like pretty much like to the minute.
Love that.
To the minute. So that was my first thing that I would like just train on is like time management.
Oh God, yeah.
And then with like time management, I was thinking about how does this shit really work? Like managing time. Cause I'm like, for one, like we can't really like manage time.
Right.
You know, it's like you can only really manage yourself within time. And then I would think about the things that I would say like I would do and then I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know, like we all have those things like, I'm going to do this. And it's like,
did not get done.
Or it's like, I really want to do that. And it's like, you just don't for whatever the reason. So like, I remember like studying like how we as people like choose to do things. And it's like, really, we choose to do the things that we really want to do.
Look.
Even if it's just in the moment that you want to do something, like that's what you'll end up really wanting to do.
Look.
So that like led me into like the rabbit hole of like, okay, how does psychology work? Like if I want to do this, but I don't do it, then like, what does it mean?
Yes.
So like, I would just like start like I would literally just like nerd out.
Hell yeah.
And like, I would just like study like psychology. I would like look up, you know, like training gurus like Lisa Nichols, Danny Johnson, Les Brown. And then just naturally, I would just start just saying it and I would apply it to myself. And that's kind of like how I started like building my coaching programs.
Yeah.
Is I was very broke for most of my life.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't really like afford a coach a lot of times or most of the time.
Yeah.
That I would just start really like almost like being my own guinea pig.
Your own, yeah.
And I'll be like, let me try this and see if it works. Now, that didn't work. Okay, let me try this.
I do a lot of,
Yeah.
same.
So when I was starting to like see like my stuff was working for me, and I was in HR, and it just so happened like I was getting tired of like being in corporate. You know, I've been doing this since I was like 17, 18. So like 10 years. And then I was like, let me just try coaching. I was like, let me just try this out. And it kind of just started like taking off.
Yeah.
You know? And like I took a little break between like 2019, 2020. And then 2021, I was like, I want to do it again. And then since then, for the last like 3 years, I've done like 1,300 coaching calls, like individual coaching calls. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had so many, because I was looking through your like your client reviews and stuff. You've had so many just amazing happy clients.
Thank you.
Testimonials. Yeah.
Thank you. It's crazy that they're so happy because I don't play nobody's games.
Yeah.
Like they all will say that I take it so serious.
Yeah.
Like we have fun, but I'm definitely not the coach that's gonna be like, oh, it's okay if you didn't do it.
It's okay, slack off.
I'm like, no, we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah.
And we're still gonna get it done.
Period.
And we're still gonna get it done.
Accountability.
Even if it takes longer, we're still gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, like I love focusing on confidence and career. For a while, I was mostly like helping people get careers started. But like one thing that I really love is helping people like really create careers that they really enjoy,
like
fulfill them, but also pay them money.
That part.
Because even with like dancing, it's like
that part.
For one, like I'm not the best dancer, and I don't think like anybody ever really is. But it's like on jobs, like you could be so great, but you still have to match everybody else.
Yeah.
So like for some people, like they're so talented and skilled, and for the job that pays them, you know, their like bread and butter, they kind of have to like bring it down a little bit at times.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? So I say that because
a step touch.
Right.
How are we training so much to do a step touch?
Literally.
On stage.
Or a pose for like 2/8.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
But I say that because like, yo, you can make a lot of money not being the best dancer. And it doesn't even have to be like you being the dancer on every single job.
Yeah.
Like you could launch a program. You could teach moms how to reconnect with their bodies. You know.
I hope you guys are listening. There's a lot of ways
like
to make money as a dancer that is not just performing.
You know.
Yeah.
And granted, it's like I still like love to perform and want to do more of it.
Absolutely.
And plan to. And with that, it's like I don't want to have the stress of like needing to book the job in the audition or in the rehearsal because financially, like I'm good. You know. So it's like I tell people, I'm like, yo, that whole idea of like, oh, I have to be the best, and it's like, yeah, be the best for you, right? But also, like, don't wait to be the best to start making money.
Hell yeah. I think it's like episode like 2 or 3. I was talking about like different things you can do as a dancer. And I'm like, dance entrepreneurs. We need like more people to think about the jobs to like give dancers jobs. We need the business owners. We need the studio owners or the coaches or there is so many ways to make money as a dancer that's not just performing, and probably like maybe a better home life balance too. Like if that's important for you, like that's important for me. So like having a home life balance and stuff, you know, like you gotta start thinking outside the box. Like
granted, I feel like you should have like a baseline of level and skill. Like I don't want everybody to be like I don't want.
Let's be for real though.
Like if you just started dancing, like get some experience, get some skill, like feel solid. But also it's also like who am I to tell you like don't get your bag?
Yeah, get your bag.
You know what I mean? Like who am I?
We don't like the broke artists.
Like, and we don't have to be.
We don't want to be starving artists.
And like speaking of artists, like we know that there's artists who are so popular and they're just okay.
They're just okay, and well,
like they're just okay skill level.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's artists that are phenomenal and that are not making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like both sides.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like have skill level and work on your craft. Like always, like work on your craft, but don't wait to make money.
Don't be broke, you guys.
Like, don't wait to make money.
Don't be broke, but
Don't wait to make money. Well, honestly, I don't believe in being broke.
look,
I don't believe in being broke.
friend, period. Like, yes, no. I think that people, this is like a separate conversation, but like, I feel like people associate with like making money as like bad and like making money from your art as like being a sellout or something. And like people are like, you gotta, that's why like, I think the starving artist thing has run so long because people are like, well, I'm authentic. I don't need to make money. And I'm like, by all means, make money because whenever I feel like I'm like financially secure, like that's when I create the best. Like I don't feel like I'm creating out of a space of scarcity. I'm creating out of a space of like I have enough, so I'm not having to like crank stuff out. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned this for a few reasons. One, we were having this conversation earlier where I'm like pivoting my business. So like I haven't been coaching for the past like few weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like I haven't made as much these past few weeks. I am not actively coaching, but I have a nice cushion where I can do that, right?
Right.
So I say that because this morning I was like, oh, I cannot wait to start making the money that I want to make. And I cannot wait. And then randomly, like this photographer that I shot with years ago, he messages me and like, we're cool, but it's like not cool enough where it's like, we would message each other like randomly, you know?
Right.
And he was like, hey, just wanted to send you like good energy and I hope that you're well. And I was like, thank you, I hope they're well too. And then he kind of just unloaded like, that he's struggling financially and he's, behind on his rent and all those things. And I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful, And sometimes I feel like in the process of like wanting to get more and like wanting to be more, like do more, I feel like that can get like convoluted. Ooh. So I say that because going back to like the starving artist, it's like, yes, we should want more and like do more and want to become more, but more shouldn't make me feel like I don't have enough. Ooh. Or like it shouldn't make me feel like I'm not doing enough. And it also shouldn't make me feel bad for wanting more, So like some people are like so committed to like the mentality of like, scarcity or even like having to like earn your way to success.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, but also I'm like, if you're successful because you're successful and it's like you didn't struggle like as badly as I did or as you did or somebody else did, it's like, why would I be mad?
Yeah.
Okay. Or it's like people talk about like these like Nepo babies and like the Kardashians and like they're like, they have it easy. But I'm like, they literally are not impacting my bag.
Yeah.
Or my career. Or my success.
It has nothing to do with
And I'm just like, well, good for them.
Yeah.
But I think the whole mentality of like, I gotta struggle, I gotta like break my back and I have to like be broke to then be rich. And I'm like, I would rather be rich and then be richer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would rather be happy and then get happier.
Yeah.
Versus like, I gotta go through like all the valleys to get to the peak.
Yeah.
I was like, we will, but I don't necessarily think we should prolong it. And I feel like a lot of times we'll prolong it because we're thinking like we need to struggle to get ahead. Whereas like, I kind of think of like a roller coaster where it's like the roller coaster, it's going to be the ride, whether you take it or not. Right. Yeah. So like if you're taking the roller coaster, you can either like clench it and be like,
you can enjoy.
Oh my God, my life.
Yeah.
Or you can like throw your hands up and like let it do its thing.
Go with the flow. I think too, like, I feel like if you're trying to get to like a level of success or like that, like if you're trying to get to a next level, you should also remember like you're a artist, like you're a creative person. So like trying to, like grit yourself through it in like such a forceful way is not the way you should do it. Maybe you should like hone into your like creative juices and like try to find creative ways to get to that next level. Yeah. That haven't been tried before or that you haven't, like I'm gonna pop my shit real quick. Like in San Diego, I was like one of the first dance coaches out there. I felt pretty cool about that. because here's the thing. There were so many teachers, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, how do I stand out? Like,
Yeah.
have a Monday, Wednesday class. So many people have Monday, Wednesday classes, whatever. So I was like, well, how do I stand out then as a creative teacher? I need to offer something else. So I was like, I need to be more creative with what I'm trying to bring to the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got into coaching because it required me to have a different level of creativity working with my students that wasn't there yet. So I feel like, like we're creatives. Like use that muscle that we have. Like think outside the box. You know what I mean? Like don't force it. Like go with the flow of what you already naturally do.
Yeah. And it's like even within like the actual dancing.
Yeah.
Like there's like the process of like learning something new, where like you kind of sometimes almost like have to force it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the goal is not to force it.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Don't force
Even
it.
in class, like sometimes they're like, all right, groups, and then like, the group that I'm in, we'll go, and then I watch the second group and I'm marking it. And I'm like, I feel like it looks better when I'm marking it sometimes.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Please, let's have the conversation.
Like sometimes it feels like feels better and it looks better when I'm marking it. Because it's like I'm not necessarily forcing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to like do this to like get through it and like get it into your body. But it's like if we can never get to the place where it's like it feels good.
Yeah.
Like it feels good, then it's like, what's the point? Even with like my business,
That's life advice right there.
Like I love all the clients that I've had. And also I'm like, I was starting to feel like I was maintaining, that business model.
I feel you.
That I was like, it's okay to let it go.
Hell yes.
Like it's all good. It's fine to let it go.
Awesome. So I know it takes a lot of background work to be a coach and a mentor because, people actually might not see it all the time. I know that my students hear me talk about it, but if you're just listening in, it's work. It's a lot of work, okay? But adding in like crazy dancer schedule on top of it is just wild, okay?
Yes.
What has been your experience trying to make time for yourself? Training, trying to like submit self-tapes, dance booking opportunities, as well as maintaining like enough communication for your clients. Right, big sign. Yeah.
I think it's a few things ranging from like what is a priority, not even like just high level, like, but also like how does that translate into the day to day?
Yes.
So for me, like I love performing. And also like for me, it's like dancing, acting, music, like
my God,
like
yeah,
so many
all of
things,
it.
so many things, right? So I think it comes down to like what is like the priority, and then also like how does that translate in the day to day, and then also how does the day translate into the priority. So it's like if I have a schedule where I'm dancing like right now I'm dancing like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, like Saturdays. So it's like it's 4 days, 3 to 4 days. But if I get a self-tape for like a movie or a show and it's due Tuesday, I'm not going to go to dance class, because the priority for me is like I would rather book than go to a class, So it's like knowing like what is the priority from like different levels, like what is like the long-term goal and then what is the immediate focus is one thing. And then also as far as like juggling like a regular like entertainment schedule versus like business schedule, like for me, like I set the boundaries. It's like I will coach between like 11 and like 5.
Oh, you shut it off.
Like I shut it off.
Good.
I might go into like 6.
Yeah.
Some days I've tried not to, but before it was like I can do it all in one day.
Oh.
And I would be so tired. I would be
I had to
so
give that
tired.
up too.
So it's like I've had to like just really start setting the boundaries. And it's like if I say I'm gonna dance, like then I'm gonna dance. Unless I'm like injured or sick or I have a self tape or something.
Yes.
Right? So the only like drawback is like I don't dance as much as I would like to.
Right.
You know? But it's also like I don't complain because I love to coach too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like setting those boundaries and like people are kind of like, well, are you gonna grow in that space and in this space if you have like multiple focuses? But I'm also like, people have jobs
Hell yeah.
that they don't want to grow into and
Yeah.
they have a career that they want to grow into. I'm like, well, for me, I would rather have two things I would want to grow into than have one thing I don't really care about
Yes.
that's taking up my energy and time.
All my energy.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So and even when I was working full time, one of the issues that my jobs always had with me is like, I was not going to do overtime.
Good boundary.
Like I was not going to do overtime.
Good.
Cause I'm like, you have me from like, and LA is crazy cause in New York is like 9 to 5
Yeah.
and LA is like 8 to 5 or 9 to 6.
Right.
That I was like, you already have, and not even just that, like I have to get to the job.
Yes.
So it's like, I have to wake up at like 6:30,
Hate it.
commute like an hour.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like 12 hours, right? And I'm like, and you want me to do more stuff? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, you know, like working at a restaurant or working at a bar or like whatever other jobs that are out there that aren't like the focus or the goal. It's like, let the job be the job
Be the job.
and let it be that, you know?
Just that.
You know? And sometimes like if we need the money, I get it. Like, do what you got to do to get the money. Like team have money, right?
Team have money. Period.
Team have money.
Team have money.
But it's also like set the boundary. You know, set the boundary. One thing that I know that I personally like do different than a lot of other coaches, and like usually like cancellation policies are like 24 hours. I do 12 hours.
Ooh.
Just because I know with entertainment, you know,
Oh yeah.
we'll get a gig or a job or an audition right now,
Yeah.
and it may conflict with the client.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true.
so I give them 12 hours. Like they have more time to let me know they can't make it,
Yeah.
whereas most companies and coaches don't do that. Just because I don't want to say like, you do this for me, but I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
You know, and if it ever happens where it really like is less than that for me, then I either like give them the session for free, or you know, I see if I can push back the audition or something
Yeah.
at a different time. If it's a job and it's like last minute, then I'll just give them the session for free.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, it's like I would rather have like integrity than, you know, asking somebody to do something that I can't uphold for myself.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah. But I would say it's really like, what is a priority? You know, like what is the boundaries that you're gonna set, and then like setting those little things. Like, I'm like, I would rather give somebody a free session
Yeah.
because I wanted to do something for myself that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. For same thing for my job. Like you guys know that I'm a dental hygienist. Like I went to a dental school and I had this decision for like a year if I wanted to be a dentist or if I want to do a hygiene. And with being a doctor, you're kind of like, that's your time. Like there is no clocking out. Like you take a lot of your work home.
Yeah.
And I was at the point where I really had to sit and like, I really wanted to be a doctor, like all of it, dentist. But I'm like, the home life balance was just not giving where I could
It
still
wasn't
take
giving.
dance classes outside. And everyone's always like, why don't you just go to dental school? Like you were at dental school and everything. And I'm just like, baby, I clock out. At the end of the day, I love my patients. My job knows that I love my job. I love what I do every single day. I clock in, I clock out. I leave all of my work there. I don't bring any work home. I don't do notes at home, nothing. Like I am off when I'm off. And since I'm in Burbank, like they know that like I dance. So like, you know, I might have called out once or twice to go to an audition or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're understanding because like that's the world that we live in. Like a lot of my patients are actors and dancers and artists themselves. So like they know. I'm
and you're like, fuck me.
I know. You have no
You got to do what you got to do.
Oh, I really be my patients no idea. So like,
you know what's really cool about that though? It's like, and it's and I feel like it's rare, but I feel like if you can find a way to make money that allows you to like have your passion, like be your focus. Because one of my issues was with working in corporate and HR, and one of the reasons, like, I'm not against jobs.
No, yeah.
But
my dream job is not to work. I mean,
not the way that it is now.
Let's
right?
be real.
You know, but like one of the things that I have against, like, I guess like company culture is it's almost like a cult. Like people think like personal development seminars are like a cult. I'm like, no, everything is a cult. Like a cult is literally like a set of beliefs that like you are supposed to follow if you're gonna be in a specific organization.
Like work wants your whole life.
They want you to be at the events. They want you to be at the company picnic. They want you to do the overtime.
Yes.
And I remember like every single time I would be like, I will do it tomorrow, or like I will do it when I get in. It was always an issue. And like even like if you're working at a restaurant, like I've heard horror stories where people are like,
they want you to
be there and available like 24/7, and it's like, first of all, you're not even paying me enough.
First of all,
to be like what, you know? But it's like if you can find a way to like either work at a job or in a place that like allows you that, I feel like so many more people would probably not even just be more successful, but would be happier.
Just
you know?
in general.
Yeah.
We don't have like work, like it's work-life balance, not like life-work balance.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It is.
You know? It's so crazy because like this morning, like I was like gonna get some water, and I was like, oh, I'm running low on water. I gotta buy some water. And this conversation's taking a completely like left turn. But I was like, yo, it's so crazy that we have to buy water.
Oh, that is, yeah, no, I feel you. Like,
you know what
our time, our water, our everything
like
is
everything.
just like a commodity now. We can't just have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also say that because it's like, I think if we could all maybe like get to the place where it's like, I'm so fine with my finances and like my life, that then you can probably like do something about it, you know? It's like then you can like do something about like crazy dance jobs that are having you dance.
You're not having to worry about
without insurance.
Yeah, no, I feel
mean?
you. You're not having to worry about what's going on at home. I was with a dancer last night, and she was saying that she had to stop dancing like as of recent because there was just so much going on with work,
taking care of
going
yourself,
on with like just life, and I'm like, that sucks. Like,
yeah,
you should just you should just be able to do your passion, do what you love without having to worry about work and life, and it sucks. Like, I wish I was live. Like, I mean, I kind of in my head, like it's a little delulu. I kind of operate
I love
like that.
delulu.
It's a little delulu. I do operate like that. I mean, look at it. Like, my husband's in San Diego, and I'm like, I'm dancing. What do you want to do? Like, this is what we're doing. Like, it's a little delulu, but I feel like I'm happier. Like, I'm happy.
But yeah, like it's like.
And okay, first of all, guys, you guys know, like, Aaron chases his dreams too. My husband very much, like, we support each other. I don't want to sound all selfish, like,
she contributes.
I swear to God.
She does.
He's off in Vegas right now. He went to, like, Mexico City, like, last week. Yes. He's going to Tennessee, like, in 2 weeks. Like, I let him do his fucking thing, okay? But, like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like in life, like, we have so many boundaries on ourselves, like, from work or from life or from responsibilities and stuff. And it's just, like, we're meant to just, like, live. Like,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, like, find the things that you care about and make you happy, and also like work on setting your life up in a way where you can have more of those things, you know. 100%. And also with that, it's like while you're setting it up, is like, don't get caught up in some shit that isn't working, you know, or people, you know, or jobs. It's like I remember I would be so stressed going to my last corporate job that I was like, I was getting sick and I was miserable. And then my manager hated me. Like every single day there was an issue. I remember there was two things that happened. Like one, she accused me of like forging my timesheet. And I was like, okay. I was like, if you can like show me the proof.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I will cut you a check for those hours and I'll work for free.
So annoying.
And then she was like, oh, we don't have to do that. But I was like, but you're bringing it up, you know? So I'm like, so clearly there's like an issue and I'm willing to resolve it.
It's like a power thing.
You know? And then, so I was like, issue number, like that was one of the issues. And then we had a conversation where she kind of said, no, this is actually what she said. I'll never forget it. But she was like, you know, you seem like a know-it-all.
What?
And I was like, and I'm from the East Coast, so I was like, well, honestly, that's your opinion. So I was like, while we're sharing opinions, I was like, that's just what it is.
While we're sharing opinion.
You know? And I say that because I was like, I will never be in a place, if I can help it, that makes me feel less than.
Yeah.
You know? Even if it's a dance class or a program or an acting class or a job, it's like, if I have to be on a job and it makes me feel less than, I have to find a way to like make sure that it either doesn't affect me or that I stand up for myself.
Hell yeah.
You know, even if it's like, you know what, we're not going to have you back tomorrow. Like, I would rather feel like I took care of myself because ultimately, like, the money's going to come and you're going to spend it. That's just what it is.
That part.
But what's going to be harder for you to get back is feeling like you took care of yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Self-worth.
That's why I'm like, I am so like passionate about like people in general, not even just dancers and artists, but like people in general. I was like, yo, don't put up with shit that you don't got to put up with.
Don't.
You know? And if it's happening time and time again, like I used to be the king of like people pleasing and like being around people that would make me feel less than.
That's a Scorpio.
You know?
Pleasing.
But what I was responsible for was that I would be the one that would stay there. You know?
Yeah.
They're responsible for
doing what they're doing on their end.
Doing what they were doing that wasn't cool, right? But I'm responsible for staying. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave, you know?
Yeah.
It's like some dance teachers and artists, but specifically like teachers, I feel like they're so great at what they do.
Yeah.
But it's like you leave feeling bad, you know? Or like
Yes.
I've left feeling bad from classes.
Yes.
You know, one of my first dance teachers was like, I don't understand why you're not a good dancer. And I was like, and again, I'm from the East Coast, so I know. I was like, well, I don't understand why you're not a better teacher.
Period. Honestly,
I'm learning from you.
Yeah,
So,
like.
but it's like, but you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you don't stay in a place or with people or in environments that make you feel less than.
Yeah.
You know?
So, you know what's kind of interesting? So I know we're saying like boundaries, but
What's a boundary?
Like boundary with a capital B. I fucking love a boundary. Everybody knows I love a boundary.
Caps lock everything.
But one thing that has fucked me up recently with my coaching business and just with teaching and all that in general is it's not so much a boundary now. It's like a sacrifice with capital S that I'm trying to work on.
How so?
So everybody knows, like, well, I'm announcing it here officially, but if you follow me on Instagram, I recently had to stop teaching because I was realizing with my time, I was not able to pour enough into my training schedule and like that part of me that I wanted to do because I'm pouring so much into my teaching schedule. And I couldn't put up a boundary because no one's doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all me. So I had to put in a sacrifice, and I was like, oh, this is a new concept for me to sacrifice something in order to help myself in another way.
Yeah.
So that's something that, like with my time, I've been like, shit, I have to make some sacrifices. I have to release teaching right now so I can pour into myself as a student or pour back into the podcast or whatever it is. So that's something I've had to deal with. I think in the last month or so, like I've been like going back and forth with like, the sacrifice.
Yeah. But
I
it's
love a
like,
boundary, but the sacrifice was hard.
but it's also too like, I don't know. It's like, I think about it like this. It's like, we can't keep doing the same thing for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like, as a teacher, especially like of dance, and if it's like if you want to dance, it's very hard for not everybody, but I've heard from a lot of teachers like it's very hard for them to like keep growing in what they're teaching in unless they are always training.
Training.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like there's nothing wrong with that, you know?
It be feeling fucked up.
You know? but I think part of it's because like you probably love to teach.
I do.
You know, and you love to coach and like
Yes.
you know, help people get ahead. But and also too, it's what is like the season that we're in, you know,
Oh my
and like
God.
where do you want to
Everybody
go?
always says that.
Like and it's like where do you want to go?
Yeah.
You know, like for me, it's like I put up like a big like pause on coaching clients because I'm like I want to go to 7 figures,
Yeah.
and it's okay for me to want to go to 7 figures
Yes.
and release the majority of my old clients to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's also like me, like literally I've been in this like cocoon at home where I'm like, I'm studying marketing, I'm creating a new program, and it's like I'm in this like sales marketing. It's an amazing program.
Yeah.
With this amazing coach. And it is next level
Yeah.
like business.
See, coaches have coaches, guys.
Coaches have coaches. And if they don't,
Run. Yes.
But also to make sure that they have a good coach,
That your
because
coach is-
sometimes, yeah, let's just
That part.
let's leave it at that.
Period.
But I say because I'm like, the only way I can get to like 7 figures from where I'm at now is like I have to stop the current business, you know?
Yeah.
And
You
it's
do
like,
things differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like even Jennifer Lopez years ago, she did an interview where she was kind of saying there was a period in her career where like nothing was moving. Like she was like doing things here and there, like she was doing like movies, and she kind of just felt like everything kind of just like did this, and she was like
Like a plateau.
plateaued,
Like a stagnant.
and even like within herself as a artist skill wise, like she felt like she kind of like got to this level.
Yes.
And she said, you know what? I'm going to take this time to just get better.
And focus on herself and
You know.
train and do her own.
Yeah. And it's like, people say so many things about her. I personally love J-Lo, but I feel like you can't deny that she's only gotten better over the years.
I love J-Lo.
You know, like you can't deny that she's only gotten better as a performer in business over the years.
Oh, yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like-
She's gone. Yes.
Yeah. Like if you look at her now versus when she first came out, it's like a completely different performer.
Oh, God, yeah. Did you watch her movie?
I did.
You did?
did.
I think I got like halfway through it and then I had to start doing. I'm really bad with like watching movies.
I'm the same. Like I'll stop. I'll start. I'll stop. I'll start. I stop. It'll take me like a week,
To get through an hour and
an
a half.
hour, at most.
From Instagram, we actually had another teacher actually chime in. You guys know Tango. He teaches dance hall. I love him. I've been taking his class at ML. I'm going to take it on Sunday. I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll join you.
He runs his own videography business. You guys probably follow it on Instagram. He said, running a business, period, I would say is relatively not easy, especially if it's your first time or you are learning business from scratch. I know that's right. Just that journey alone for me is enough to digest. That the professional dancer part is not even a concern, really. Well, he's a great dancer, so
Right.
never. Both fields complement each other, so whether I'm dancing or filming, someone dancing, it all works. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's right. Like, if
Yeah.
you're,
Like, yeah.
the working on business is hard enough. I feel like don't make the dance part
Yeah.
difficult for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, like, and I know it's an investment of mostly money.
Yeah.
Like getting a really good, solid mentor
God, yeah.
for everything.
Everything.
But especially in business.
Yeah.
Like, especially in business, it's night and day of a difference. And then even within dance, like,
Yes.
I think dancing is one of those things, though, where it's like, you could work smart to maybe get more visibility, and like maybe, get
Talk
more
about like
like,
social media.
yeah, like maybe like
Okay.
get into like certain rooms. But if you don't
Networking.
have the skill,
That part.
and like I don't mean like you gotta be the best, like
No,
you
but
don't.
you gotta have some
You gotta
understanding of
have some
something.
understanding. Like you got to be able to do
Absolutely.
like transitions and
You have
like
to be
pick
bookable.
choreography. Be bookable,
You have
right?
to be bookable.
Dancing is one of those things where it's like you literally cannot work smart and bypass the work
You
to
can't.
become a
It
good dancer.
shows.
You can work smart to become a better dancer.
Yes.
Like knowing like what classes to take, like filming yourself and like seeing like
What you need to
what
work on.
what you need to work on, what doesn't look good, what looks good.
Yep.
Seeing like who are dancers that you can
Emulate.
and it's like even within that, it's like one of the people that I love as a dancer is Luce, Luce from New York.
Is it Luz?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
But it's like I'm so much taller and bigger than Luce. I could not emulate Luce.
I feel you. I feel you on that.
You know what I
feel
mean?
you, feel
It's like
you.
finding like who would
Yes.
be the appropriate person. Where for me, it would be like her husband, Noel.
Yeah, you gotta look at. Yeah, Yeah.
I'm not saying you gotta like copy and paste
No,
and like
yes.
change who you are as a dancer, but
How can
specifically
you
like
apply that to your body?
when you want
type?
to work commercial jobs,
Yes.
where predominantly like you kind of have to like look in a very specific way depending on the job. It may change.
And like know what you're looking like.
But it's like also know what you're looking like. Like for me, I love to Vogue, but I also know I'm very buff.
Yeah.
And I'm big. So it's like if I'm gonna
Are you gonna get booked for those jobs? You might.
I might.
You might.
Right? But realistically, for the jobs that I also want to book,
You're gonna get the mask job.
like the J-Los or the pop jobs or the tours, it would be more traditional masculine.
Absolutely.
Traditional masculine. I'm trying to be,
You gotta be smart. You gotta know your
Yeah.
type, not typecast, but like low key.
But yeah.
I wanted to do it. That's so funny you said that because I literally wanted to do an episode about typecasting and like knowing your like kind of genre role kind of type. Yeah.
And also too, like what's just coming to me right now, it's like I think there's this thing that I've seen where like people sometimes get mad at like it being a thing.
It's a thing.
But I'm like
It's entertainment.
But I'm also like I'm like
It happens to actors too.
to actors to like with singing is more obvious. It's like you either have the range for that song or you got to change the key or you don't.
Or you're poppy or you're country or you're this or you're that.
Unless you're like Kelly Clarkson or Beyonce.
So
like,
you're Beyonce,
so,
you can do
you're
all of it.
You're so trained and you know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
But that's like 40 years of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't get mad that that's the job.
That's the job.
That's the job. And also too, I think about it this way. It's like, if I can adapt my delivery and do it well and get paid, it's like, for one, it's like I'm more skilled.
Period.
And then two, it's like, I can work with more people and I can also like probably inspire more people,
Yeah.
Like I try to like change my perspective because like, I'm like, oh, why are they typecasting me?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, sometimes I just don't have that look for that specific job.
That's totally fine.
And
you're
then,
not in charge of but you're in charge of just showing up as yourself. You're not in charge of,
as your best self, And it's like, if I have to learn how to change my style and my performance and my delivery, it's like when I have the opportunities to do so, it's like, it's great because I'm like, I get to work on something that's probably more foreign to me. And also, I can probably inspire more people versus just the people that I naturally would gravitate towards.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going off of our last question, do you ever feel like it's way too hard to juggle dancing and
Everything?
like your business? Like, do you ever feel like, and I hate being that bitch. I swear up and down I can do everything. Like and my thing is like, if you schedule it, if you're organized enough, you can do everything. And like, well, here I am having to like stop teaching. Like, I'm just like, like I hated like coming to that realization because I'm just like, this is going to take me to the next level though with my dancing. I have to understand that it's okay to let go. So as from one coach to the other, do you ever feel like, fuck, I might not be able to juggle everything, or how do you feel?
I kind of have this rule with myself that like it took me like years to like get here, where it's like it's okay if you didn't do everything in the day. Like before, especially because like the first thing that I would teach people was time management.
Yeah, isn't that?
I would be like, this is how you do everything,
bro.
And then I would be tired.
I look, I'm like, how am I? Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's almost like there's always more to do.
There is.
There's always more to do. And then, like, for me right now, it's like I'm really inspired to work more as a dancer right now, while still training and acting and music. You know, like I still give it some time. But I'm more inspired to like train as a dancer. So it's kind of a combination of like going with the flow, and also like letting myself know like what that flow is right now. So I feel like people are like, oh, I'm just gonna go with the flow, and it's like you're not paying attention to like what you're feeling, or like
flow as a type A individual.
Yeah,
this is a learning like.
But it's like you can be type A and still go with the flow.
You can. You absolutely can.
You know.
Yes.
And it's like certain things where it's like my main focus right now, it's like pivoting my business.
Yes.
Because what I've learned from like, especially like this course, it's like you can make so much money.
Yeah.
In almost every single industry.
Hell yeah.
And have more time to do other things.
That's absolutely true.
So it's like one of the reasons why I'm like so like business right now is like the main thing. Unless I book like a movie or something soon, then obviously like I'll pivot at that. But it's like I want to be able to have more time and more money, right? Yeah. Like I was watching this girl. She's a coach. Her name is Victoria Jen Rodriguez, and I discovered her like 2 days ago. And she said in her first year of coaching, she made $175,000 in 5 months.
Okay.
And I was like, how'd you do that? I was like,
how'd you do that?
And she was like, corporate contracts. And I was like, oh, that's so true. That's so right.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, people don't even make that in a year. Or in 2 years.
Oh, God, no.
Or even in 3 years, come on, for a lot of people.
Yes.
They just don't. Right? And I'm like, could you imagine? It's like whatever your business is. Yeah. Like, let's say like you're teaching dance, and you're like, I want to teach dance moms of whatever the Hollywood Hills of Wisconsin is.
Yeah. And
you have like a group program, and you know what you're doing, and you charge however much, and you meet like twice a week via Zoom. And let's say you have 10 people, and they're each paying you like $1,000 a month.
Yep.
That's 10 times 1,000, 10,000.
That's pretty normal for hiring a coach, like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
On Zoom. Yeah. Right. So it's like 2 hours on Zoom.
Less time.
Times 4 is 8 hours. You're making 10 grand.
Absolutely.
Like there's people that pay that.
Yeah.
For less.
Oh God, yeah.
For less, you know.
Yeah. This is my husband's bag.
Yeah. So it's like knowing this, I'm like, okay, my focus right now is like, let me pivot my business in a way because I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm a great coach. I get people great results.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, now let me just pivot the business so that I can have more time to do other things. Because a lot of times
you have to think creatively.
Yeah, you really do. You have to think creatively. You have to think like
creative.
What am I not doing that maybe I should be doing? Like people don't get rich from the hours that they work.
Hell no.
And that's because everybody would be rich.
Hell no. God, all these people
like people don't get rich off the hours that they work.
No. I hate the whole no.
That's just not what it is.
That's like, well, never mind. Let's not go.
But especially like if you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Like if you really know what you're doing, then it's like, okay, how can I maximize this?
Yes.
You know, even within dance, like if you're a great dancer and it's like you also know how to teach, and it's like not ignoring the passion, right? Because for me, like I love helping people who are struggling to get a job, get good jobs. I also know that usually they don't have the money to pay me what I know I'm worth.
Right.
So like I said, because I helped somebody go from being unemployed for a year,
Yeah.
they worked with like a few different coaches, and within like 3 months of us working together, she landed almost a six-figure job.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
But I've done that a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my services aren't worth what I'm charging. They're worth what they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm saying that I'm like, okay, if that's the value, then it's like, how can I pivot the business where I will charge off the value versus let me just keep repeating the process where I'm working a lot and I'm making good money, but it's not giving me that financial freedom or that leverage. You know what I mean? Because then when you have leverage, then you can work with the people that don't have what you want to charge and give.
Yeah, that's so funny. My husband's a Scorpio too. Oh yeah, Pep's a Scorpio, so you guys already know I love him. But he was working at like a sales closing job, and he was working. Oh my God, I feel so bad. He was working like from 6 a.m. until like
9
p.m. You know what I mean? Like no, when they're like on closing calls, it's just straight through.
It's crazy.
And he had to make the decision. When did he quit? I can't remember. Like a year ago now? Maybe like 8 months ago. He had to make like the really difficult decision to like quit and go and do his own business. So he went back into, he's had his own business before, but go back and do his own business again as a sales consultant. And he has, I think, 3 solid clients. He's making just as much now as he made with his last job, working entirely less.
Yeah.
Way more of his time.
And he's traveling, like
hella traveling, just by like, we always joke because I'm always like, I'm the creative one, but he's like, or I'm like, actually, you're kind of creative too, like thinking creatively in that sense in order to get yourself into a better financial situation. Like,
oh my God. But it's also too, it's like, I think that's one of the things where like entertainment, because like being an entertainer, like we naturally have a lot of stuff that we can leverage for entrepreneurism.
Hell
like we do. What I think happened, I'll speak for myself, like happened with me, it's also the environment didn't necessarily like foster, well, it doesn't really promote like, it doesn't really properly promote like abundant thinking. Because for one, like everybody's trying to make it, like everybody is like hustling.
Much,
you know, we get offered jobs for like 100 for like 10 hours, and we take it. And I remember like, even like for the big jobs, like I remember I did a job, and we had rehearsals, and then we did the show, and I think I got paid like less than $1,000. And I was like, oh, it's cool. And at the time, I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. And then I was thinking about it.
I know.
I was like, it's not a lot of money.
Right.
Like, it's not a lot of money. And then I ended up booking a commercial as like the hero male or the whatever you call it for commercials. I forget them. And it was me and this girl, Jess Adams. She's super cool. For the W in Hollywood. And literally the commercial was us sitting by the pool, walking around the hotel. They gave us champagne. They gave us like the best of the best from the menu. And the shoot was only 4 hours. And I made more from that commercial than the dance job. You know?
God.
And then I did another job where they hired me to literally say one line. Like, walking down the street. And I got paid just as much as the dancers who were dancing on concrete. And I was just like, what? But I say that because it's like, we're so creative,
dude,
and we're so like passionate. And I think one of the things that I know I do is like, this is the goal.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And yeah. And also, how can I switch it?
Yeah.
You know? Because I'm like, I still want to work as a
Absolutely.
dancer, right? And I still want to act,
Yeah.
right? But even within like acting jobs, like, you don't even see half the money that you make. Like, you just don't.
So like residual.
Well, it's like I think it was Taraji that said it a few times, but it's like she said like if you make 100K for a movie, like 50% of that goes to like taxes and then like agent and like so like you don't even see like the majority of it.
I feel you.
Right?
Yeah, okay, that.
So it's like going back to like your husband, it's the same thing as like we can't just keep like
Trying to more time.
more time. It's
You
not
gotta
more
be
time.
Smarter. Yes.
It's not more time.
Yes.
It's not more time.
And there's ways to apply that to dancing.
Yeah.
There's 100% ways to apply that for dancing.
Oh my God,
swear.
yes.
We just have to like, think more creatively.
And getting out and also like expanding the environment.
Yeah.
Because I love being around artists. Like I love like talking about music and dancing and like last week I was in the studio with Teresa Spinoza. Like we just like sessioned. So I love the energy. And also I've learned that it's like the ways to like really like free up your time and like free up your finances. Because for a lot of people, what frees up their time is the money.
Hell yeah.
And like what a lot of times what frees up like your energy is money.
Because
That unfortunately that's just what it is.
Money can fix it.
For most people. Like if you don't have money, you're stressed.
God,
You're trying to figure it out. You know, you're bringing that energy everywhere. Unless you're really good at like managing your energy, that it's not a thing. But usually we're not mostly like that.
Yeah.
So I say that because like it's not to like be selfish and greedy, but it's like how can I free up myself to do more of what I want?
It's hard. And I feel like even the best of us, like not the best of us, but like coaches, like ourselves and even our coaches that we look up to, like everyone's trying to find a way to juggle like that passion with also being sustainable in life.
But you know, it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's also part of mindset. And also like getting stuck in like your environment.
Yeah.
Because the minute that I got into this program, and it's only been a week.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's like, everything has been designed to like take you like a week. But I've been like clocking like 10 12-hour days.
Let's fucking go.
Because I'm like, oh my God. I'm like complete nerd. Just
You're like hungry for the information.
Hungry for the information. And he said something like if you really believe in what you're doing, you wouldn't mind selling.
And
100%. And he was like, 100%. And also like, if you really want what you want, and I'm kind of like putting my word into this. Yeah. Like if you really want what you want, then it's like, what are you willing to do to get it? Yeah. And like, what are you willing to let go of?
Yeah. Ooh.
Like for me, like.
I like that.
Yeah, like I'm so willing.
I like little phrases like that because it does make me be like thinking like, it really, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up in order to get that?
Like you gave up teaching for a
I was about to say I gave up teaching because I really feel like I don't know, I be feeling like I'm about to pop off. Like,
yeah.
But no, like, and not feel guilty about that. And it's not like I'm losing something. I'm just gaining more of something else.
Yeah, and it's also too like my main mentor now, like in life, he's also great in business. He said very simply, he was talking about business, but I apply for life now.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was like, if you have something that you want to get done, like if you want to make X amount of money, and you've gotten people these types of results, he told me specifically, he was like, you should be charging this amount. Yeah. He told me like per person, he's like for the year, he was like for group coaching, he was like, you should be charging 20 grand. I was like, really? I was like, copy. I was like, not a problem.
Enough said.
And he was like, and if people can give you the 20 grand, he was like, those are not your people for that program.
Your clients. Yeah.
For that program. And he was like, and you should not feel bad about that.
apply that to dancing.
You know,
too.
apply it to dancing.
You know what's so funny? I've turned down jobs because I didn't think it was enough, and I had so much guilt. I think I talked about this on the podcast because I was like, damn, like, I don't want to take this job because I don't feel like it's enough, but like I feel like I should be taking anything right now because how dare I turn down something? But like that was just not the kind of job I was going after.
Yeah, the only times I'll take something that it's not financially what I want.
If it's like creatively.
If it's like creatively the move, or if it allows me to grow, or if I can use it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, for example, like the way that I started modeling was, because that wasn't even a thing that like I like thought about at all.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like over my head
Yeah.
type of thing. And it's crazy because when I was in Rhapsody's program, 2017, I think, everybody was like, you should model. And I was like, it's not even a thing, like in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just do what I want to do. But people would be like, oh, can you, you know, do a trade for trade type of shoot? And I was like, well, I need new pictures for like casting
Headshots,
networks,
just,
you know, for marketing myself. And that's when I'll do something like that. Like if I can get something of like equal value,
100%.
you know, for myself, then I'm cool with taking something that is not paying me what I want to get paid.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
you're still getting something of value.
it has to be something of value though.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's a job where it's like 300 of us and we're like dancing for free and it's like, I can't even be seen.
I get the for frees
like
too. I'm like,
I can't be.
I be nice about the for frees too. Like if someone's like, oh, I can't pay you, I'm like, I'm gonna respectfully like, don't be like a bitch. Because I used to like back in the day be like tripping, da da da. But that person might have a paid gig for you in the future.
Yeah, and it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no.
You know, I'm just saying like if we're gonna do something that's not paying us what we want to get paid, but if we're going to do it, like let it be something of value.
From Instagram, we had I am Neek. She said and by the way, she runs her own juicing, lemonade, and alcohol mixes business.
Come on.
Period, girl. She says she never feels like it's hard to juggle everything because she makes everything in advance. And I know that's right because you need to be like anticipate what's going to happen in your future. I think I've talked about this on a podcast about, what was I talking about? Staying ready so you don't have to waste time getting ready type shit. Yeah. So, you know, when that job just pops up and you need to do a self-tape or something like that, you already have systems in places where you don't have to struggle trying to get everything done or juggling everything because you already have things lined up and in order so you could just easily get the self-tape done.
Real quick. One thing that I do every year, specifically for like self-tapes and getting ready.
Yeah.
Like, you know the casting media requests when they're like, slay, height, hands.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Literally every year I'll do like a very generic self-tape by myself. Yeah. You know, I'll make sure like I have my haircut, you know, that I look presentable. Like as if it's an actual audition. And I'll do a few different variations, you know, name, height, location, agent, name, height, location, personality slate, name, height, location, fun fact. Yeah. Like it'll take like an hour, maybe at most.
It's okay. Yeah.
And then also I'll do like selfies because everybody was like, selfie, you know, and it'll be the day where it's like, you look busted. Like it'll be the day where you're like, I'm running errands. I'm tired or I'm sick or I need a haircut and I can get like, first of all, I don't want to get a haircut every time I have a self-tape. You know, I'll take pictures of my hands. Yeah. And just have the shit in a folder. Yeah. So whenever I get those requests, I'm like, boop.
Because they do be asking for stuff
they
like
do.
That. That's so funny. Yeah, because, you know, and I've been trying to, I'm like, okay, since I'm in this new wave of trying to book more and stuff, I need to get more into my like bookable bag. And I'm like, oh yeah, like... Yeah, it is always when you don't have nothing done or nothing that you're like, oh shit, now I'm trying to be bookable. I had an audition. I had not, like, my hair wasn't done. I was like,
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, just like every year. I feel like maybe like every other year. Because like our looks don't really like change that much like within the year. Yeah. Unless like something drastic happens, you know. But it's like, yeah, just take like an hour and just like set it up. And whenever you get those requests, it's like, hey, we want this. And you're like, I already have that.
So, okay, so this next question actually, I think it kind of goes along with that because that's like an organizational skill that I feel like not a lot of people, maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, but when I talk to dancers, it feels like we be scrambling, we're not organized. Like, some
Looks
of
like-
us, maybe some
It's a
of
lot
us.
of the world, actually, not
And
just
it
dancers.
depends on the day. I might be a little bit more organized and ready to go than
Which
others.
is normal.
You know,
That's
I
all of us.
might be late to an audition. What was that? Oh my God, I was late to an audition like the other day. So anyways.
Auditions.
But okay, so I feel like dancers, we have like such an advantage and like a sixth sense when it comes to being business owners because we already have such a creative mindset already, which we can take into entrepreneurship. But what are some other qualities that you think you have as a dancer that also slide into your business or as a business owner that also go into dancing? So like maybe communication or organization, staying ready, things like that. Like, is there a lot of crossover between the two?
Yeah, honestly, one of the things that I found specifically from dancing that's allowed me to, what's the word I'm looking for? Like feel comfortable, but also like set myself apart, especially like within acting and modeling is, and same thing with coaching and like public speaking is like my connection to my body.
Ooh.
So like being able to like move freely and being able to walk around, you know, I didn't, I did an open mic in February and people were like, oh my God, you're so free up there. And it's like, you look so comfortable. But a lot of it just comes from dancing and like learning to get comfortable with our bodies. And, you know, I think of Rhapsody because I feel like Rhapsody always says it like whenever it's like a touch yourself moment and people are like not touching their face or they're like not comfortable with like touching their bodies, she'll be like, touch it. It's your body. Right? So I feel like dancing in specific has a lot of benefits like that. Like especially for acting and like modeling. It makes a huge difference. Like if you are not a model or an actor that's comfortable with their bodies, and it's like
it shows.
It's like speak and walk. It's like no, it can get very uncomfortable for a lot of people. And then also I think with dance, like we're programmed to like really work at like getting it right. You know, which I think can be like really, really, really helpful.
Like on a perfectionist level or like work hard ethics?
Yeah, I think it's like almost like perfectionism, which it can be detrimental. But I think that's made me just better with business. It's like, for one, I'm so visual. Like even my PowerPoints, like everybody was like, wow, it's so like, like the color schemes are perfect. Like everything, like there's like an accent color. And it's like, and things are like lined up in a specific way that I like. But I think it's just because as dancers, like we have to know like where to go, what to look like, 100%. How our faces look like, you know,
down to the T.
You know. And it's also like with acting and auditioning and dance auditions, it's like even guys like have to, or I say I'm gonna say the word should, which I hate the word, like know how to put on concealer. Because when you're doing a commercial, you're going to get makeup usually. You know? So for the self-tape, one thing that I learned, I don't know who it was from. I feel like it was maybe Sienna. I think it was Sienna. Where I think she said, like, for your audition, pretend you're on the job. So like look like you're on the job. So I'm like, shit, I don't know anything about concealer or anything.
You're gonna learn today.
but yeah, the way that I learned was I lived with Tia, and I remember, it was when I first moved to LA. I was living with Tia, and I had to shoot for headshots. Like I had this like weird get a free headshot series of like 3 looks.
Love it.
And it's crazy because I still use those headshots like for certain things.
Headshots are expensive.
Yeah. And I had no idea like how to do anything.
Yeah.
You know? And Tia was like, "This is what you do." So like I learned how to like do like the basics. Like I still don't know how to like
Yeah, like to conceal.
conceal
Yeah.
and like apply foundation, but
Yeah.
it's like I had to learn.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've taken from like bits and pieces. It's like even for coaching, like unfortunately, like presentation does matter
Oh, hell yeah.
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like if you don't look healthy or if you look tired or you look whatever, like people are going to take that into consideration.
Have confidence in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not saying it's about that, but that's a factor that we have to consider.
I forgot like this sounds like my husband fact, like communication is like 50% or like 20% what you say and like 80% like your body language or something
Yeah.
shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But presentation matters.
Yeah, presentation matters. You know, well, dental hygiene's like my job, but like I don't want to say it's my business. It's not my business, but I will say I had to do because what we'll do is we'll go into like old people homes and like schools and like talk to people about like brushing their teeth and things like that. And we did one at like an old person center, and I had to do a whole presentation on like brushing, flossing, like this and that. And I was like walking up and down the aisles and like showing them like little models and stuff. And like after we were done, my boss is like, "Damn, that was really good. Like, did you practice?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm a teacher. Like, that's what I do."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like in class, you just like get into the trenches with your students, and like it's so normal. So it's like when I'm with like my patients, I'm like doing it, and they're like, "Damn, like you're a good hygienist." I'm like, I'm a teacher. I'm a dancer. Like, I know how to be with people.
Yeah.
It's weird. The crossover happens.
Yeah, and also too, like what you just reminded me of, like specifically when it comes to like dancing, one thing that I've had to work to getting back to. Sorry, it's like getting to the place of having fun with dance. But I say that because like
that's a whole nother conversation.
For business, it's like we can get so caught up in like, I gotta get this client, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta make money, I gotta work in the marketing, I gotta pivot. It's like I gotta make $300,000 in a day, and it's like, and still get to the place of fun.
And get to the place where you enjoy it.
You know, so that's one of the things like from dancing, specifically, that I've had to like work. I feel like I'm saying this wrong. It's like work to get back.
Work towards.
We get it. We get it. Like one thing that I had to work to get back to is the place of fun with dancing.
God, yes.
And then also applying that to just life and business.
Yeah.
Also to answer your flip side of that question, like one thing from business for dancing and entertainment. Communication.
God, yes.
For sure. Organization. And I think specifically because I really still study how to become a better coach and like practice the skills of coaching, not even for my clients, but for myself. It's allowed me to, well, it's going to sound like weird, but it's allowed me to like be more compassionate and also not give a fuck.
No, yeah.
Like in a way where it's like if somebody does something like shady or rude, like I just
has nothing to do with you.
Don't care anymore because like it has nothing to do with me. If it's something like really like out of line, I'll address it. But I would rarely ever let myself get into an emotional bag that has me come out my neck. It's just not going to happen. And part of it too is because I also know that everything that we do behaviorally is because of what's in here and in here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like if somebody is like mean or they're always like talking about themselves and it's like I just want this and that, I'm like, they're on their journey.
It's on the
and I don't have to let their journey affect my feelings, you know, which is very hard to do
especially
all the time. In the moment, or if it's somebody close to you, right? It's not like I do it every single moment of my life, but I would say specifically from coaching, it's just not as personal anymore. Like even not booking the job anymore, I'm just like, it's okay. I'm like, did I do the best that I could?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I did, great. And if I didn't, it's fine. If I didn't, because sometimes we don't always do our best, and we know this.
Yeah.
You know, or we deny it, but you know that there was more for you to do.
100%.
And not making it wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Ooh, it's so okay. So being a coach and being like a dancer, like okay, so I feel you like, because it's easy to like just tell my clients what to do and to coach other people, but like when I have to apply it to myself, like that's where I have a like, I don't want to say block because I don't want to put that wording, but like it's a challenge for me. And like even like as of recently, I think since I was last month was like a really good month for me. Like I was like, I'm gonna decide to stop teaching, and then just like, you guys know I'm really big on practicing what I preach. So I'm like, you know, let me go back into my bag of like, you know, tricks and stuff that I give or like tips and tricks that I give my clients, and like what can I apply to myself right now. And I'm like, oh shit, like the shit does work. First of all, the homework works. Okay, the homework that I give y'all works.
Do your homework.
Do your homework. You didn't get any this episode, but I'm sure we'll find some to do.
Oh, there's been tons of things for you to think about. How to make more money, work on your mindset.
There we go.
Getting ready for self-tape season.
There's lots of homework to be done, friends. But like, I'm like, okay, what homework can I do, you know, for myself that I can work on? Because like I said, like coaches, we have coaches. There's always stuff that we can work on. So, you know, like when I'm a hygienist, I never doubt myself. Like I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I'm highly skilled. I'm the best. Like if
you're confident.
I'm so confident. Like when patients ever come in and they're like, "Do you know what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Do you know who you're with right now?"
You're like, "Do you
I'm
know?
The one.
Do you
like,
know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
Do you see these teeth?
Right? Like, hello."
Come
but
on.
like with dancing, I'm so like not that person. So like last month, like I'm like, let me try this like positive self-talk like on myself, and like so on the drive to work, which is like a short drive, it's like 5 minutes, but I'd be like, I know what the fuck I'm doing when I walk into a dance classroom. I have so much to offer and I'm like saying this in the mirror. Like I flip down the mirror and I'm like saying it to myself. I'm like, I'm a creative genius. Like I have so much to contribute to the room when I walk in. I work hard. I am like confident in my skills. And I'm like, even like the first day I was like, oh, I feel so corny. But like now I just do it, and I do it before I go to bed too. Like I'm just laying there like I have so much to offer. I'm a professional dancer. Like I'm just saying all these things, and I swear to fucking God, you guys, like when I walk into rooms, I feel that, like I really do. Like in spaces where I used to be like really like I'm gonna be in the back, like I'm like let me get to the front because I need to see the mirror. I need to use the mirror. Like it really, the shit does work. It does work.
Also, too, it's crazy that you're having this conversation. We're having this conversation because I feel like I'm moving my hair out the way.
Get the bundle out the way.
Because clearly, one of the reasons that I felt really disconnected from like enjoying dance was the environment that I was in.
Oh, yeah.
So where I was saying like I was responsible earlier for like who I was with and like how long that I stayed. It still doesn't negate the fact that I was around people that were doing some things that were just like me, you know? Like I remember going back to Rhapsody's program when I auditioned for it and I got in. I'll never forget, you know, the first thing that she had us do was freestyle across the floor.
Ooh.
And across the floor already is something that most dancers, myself included, were like, but she was like, "You're gonna freestyle across the floor," and it was at the Edge, the old studio, old dance studio.
Everybody was on point,
and it was like the biggest room at the Edge.
Yeah.
So it was like a massive like travel situation, and I was like, "Oh my God," but I was like, "Fuck it." Job number one. I always tell myself, like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Like, if I'm unsure about something, I'm just like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Let's...
What are you going to do, die?
Just try, at least. And she played the song, which I love, is Telepathy. I remember Telepathy by Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
And it's like a disco-inspired song. And I remember, like, my opening thing was, like, this, like, big, like, port de bras situation. And I just remember like Rhapsody was smiling, everybody was like laughing and like cheering, and like it was a good energy. It was a good energy, you know. And they were taking pictures, and I saw the pictures afterwards, and everybody was like, literally, everybody was like smiling and watching me dance. But I say that because I remember we did that, felt great about it. I think we did 2 routines, and at that point, that was the best that I felt I had ever done, at a dance audition. And then we had the acting audition, and like I felt really strong with it. And then I had to leave early because I was doing I was shooting like a video. Yeah. So like that whole day, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I am doing it. And then I hit up my friend at the time, and part of the environment that I was in, they were very like elite level dancers. Ooh. Like I feel it. People who I would say are people that people want to get close to.
Of course.
Like professionally speaking.
Professional, yes.
And I remember like I hit up my friend, and I was so like happy about the day, and I was like, let's celebrate. I'm like, if it's ice cream or we're at home, like whatever. I'm like, let's just like day. Like if we're at your place or at my place, like whatever, like something simple. I just want to celebrate. I felt good. Yeah. And they came to watch the audition. And we are hanging out, and they were like, so how do you feel that you did at the audition? And I tell them I'm excited, and they were like, it wasn't good. And I was like literally all the excitement left my body, but it was kind of that behavior that a lot of the people that I would be with would give me. Like, yes. And it's one thing where it's like,
destructive or something?
No, it was like, those were the words. It wasn't that good.
No, friend.
And it's one thing, like, let's say, like, comparing yourself to somebody else. Like, which I don't always think is a bad thing to do.
Yeah. And elevate.
Yeah. And it's like in relation to, like, let's say, like, if this is the standard of dance. Yeah. And my audition performance was here. Yeah. Then it wouldn't be good, right?
Yeah.
Based on this standard, right? But if it's something where, and this is one of the things that I've learned from coaching, is like, there's a way to give feedback, and also 100%. A time and a place to give specific feedback, 100%. Right? So it's like, if somebody is feeling great, really they've had a great day.
Yes.
They're not asking you for the feedback.
The time.
Yes. And they're like, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And it's not even constructive. It's just that.
Yes.
Then it's like,
there's a lot of teachers.
There's a lot of stuff. but I remember I spoke to Nico, who did the program with Rhapsody. He's like Rhapsody's like right hand man in the program. Yeah. Like he co-runs the program with her, or like I don't know if that's an appropriate term. Sorry, Rap, if it's incorrect. But I asked him what was it about that audition that made me get accepted? Yeah. Because it was bothering me. Like, yeah. I felt like,
you felt good.
Am I just unaware? Am I
and
like,
if you are, like, make you aware so you can work on it.
Am I unaware? Am I not good at all? And they were like, he was like, it was okay. Mm-hmm. He was like, but the biggest thing is like, you showed massive improvement.
Period.
He was like, even from within the audition, he's like, every time you would do the routine, it would get better. Yeah. You had great moments. Yeah. He was like, you're not bad. Yeah. And the biggest thing that I learned from that, it's also like, we can't always go off it not being good. Yeah. Because for one, it's like, that's so relative. And then two, specifically when it comes to like growth in your environment, it's like, but where were you before? Yes. Versus like, oh, you're trash. Yeah. But it's like, but am I getting better? Do you see progress? Yeah. And if it's trash, then help me make it better. Yeah. And if not, then you got to go. Yeah. But I say that because a lot of times it's like, I would allow myself to be around people that is like, it's just not good. Or it's like, like,
they don't know how to give feedback.
Or it would be like, I would do like a job and they're like, it would be like, oh, I did those types of jobs years ago or whatever. And I'm just like, what is happening? What is this? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I say that because it's like part of what's helped me with like dancing, especially like getting back into it and like feeling better about it. And also like knowing that I'm better
Yeah.
and also knowing that I'm good,
Yeah.
it's also like the environment that I'm in.
Yeah.
So like going into like what you were saying about like the homework and like bigging yourself up,
Yes.
it's also like now I'm around people that are like, you can do this.
Hell yeah.
You're good. You can do this.
Yeah.
You're good. You can work on this.
Yeah.
And you can still do this.
And you have that in yourself too.
And I have it in
Telling
myself.
yourself that too.
But what helps is like getting out of those environments
God, yeah.
where it's like, you're not good.
Yeah.
And that's the
Who's that
conversation.
person?
I'm like,
who's that person anyways? One
You know-
person will say, and that's the thing too, like you said, it's very like subjective. Like what one person says is good is somebody else will say bad. And guess what? The only person that matters is the person that's booking you.
and also what you said about yourself.
Oh yeah, yourself. But like for like a job, like the casting agent. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So
Like-
also, looking for like the facts. So for example, it's like a lot of those people would say like I wasn't good,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I remember I couldn't do the job because I got COVID. But I remember Aisha Francis like direct booked me for a job, and she does not play anybody's games
Period.
at all.
Period.
You know.
So
And I remember like, oh, I'm giving these people too much energy and power.
yeah.
And it's like, if they don't see it, then I can't see you.
Yeah, and that's on period. From Instagram, we have Mariah. She runs her own photography and videography business. I think it's Raya's Creatives. She says, I get a lot of people saying, I don't know how to pose, or I feel awkward and uncomfortable around the camera, or I never take pictures of myself. And it's very similar to when you're starting your dance journey and just starting to get filmed and you don't look like everyone else. Like choreographers and teachers and instructors, I try to make the space as comfortable and as freeing as possible. It's a trust the process kind of thing. And I can't even think of a better example because really, like as a teacher, I see people and I know the struggle of I don't look right or I feel so weird and having to, like give them life, give them life so they can get their life. And so her being a dancer, and I know her as a dancer, she's amazing. Her being able to translate that into being a videographer and photographer, like
That's dope.
that's literally perfect.
That's dope.
Awesome. So, have you ever been on a dance job or in a dance space and you find yourself working? That's kind of hard for me too, to like turn it off.
Like you mean like working as like a coach or
like low key, like if you're in like an environment with dancers and like for me, like my example is like if we're supposed to be working together and like everyone's standing there awkward, I'm literally always the one that's like, okay guys, so what do we want to start on 1? Do we want to start on 8? Like I'm always the one that wants to like facilitate the conversation, or if I could tell there's a dancer that's being left out, I'm like always the one that's gonna walk over to them and like start dancing. Like I feel like that's my work mode. Like are you ever in a job and you're like, I can tell there's something weird confidently or something with this person and I want to like, or are you good at shutting it off?
I think I'm better about it now.
You're better about it now.
I don't know. It's hard because I feel like when I'm on like a job, I always just try to focus on like,
On you, I'm sure.
well, not necessarily like that, but like if there's choreography, like I would rather like go through it, or because it's like sometimes you'll be on the job and it's like, okay, now a new transition, go here, go there, and you're like, oh. And it's like I remember I did a job last month. It was like a live performance, like a private event, and we literally had to change the choreography for the venue, and then we had to like do new transitions.
Yeah.
So it's like I would mostly just worry about that as much as I can. But I will say I feel like I have a friend who's like, you're never not a coach.
Right.
So maybe and I just don't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like I literally like it's hard for me to shut it off, and maybe like I should because then I can have more time to focus on myself. But I always am like I said, like if I see someone that's like struggling, especially if they like are actively asking and like everyone else is in like laser mode. I'm like, I'm not gonna stand here and pretend like I didn't hear them. Like,
actually, yeah, like
I'm gonna be like, okay, so like, did you figure like, let's figure it out together, friend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like
Yeah,
always like,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah. I try to like, I don't know, I try to have fun on jobs,
yeah,
but also like be productive.
be productive.
You know, and sometimes it's like people just don't mesh. Then I'm like, if that's the case, then I'll just go to my corner and
To my
like
corner.
work on it.
Also, I think being a teacher, like my teacher mode comes in when
Oh,
like if it's like a count situation or like a musicality type thing, and like I can see what the teacher wants, and I'm like, okay, they want it on 5, 6, 7, like something specific, and then like I said, like I see someone that's like not getting it, I'm like, friend, it's on 5, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, like I hate to be that person, but also like it's like such a teacher habit.
yeah. I think one of the things for me with like things like that, it's, I don't know, because I've heard so many mixed things. People are like,
Don't do that.
don't do that,
I know,
or
I
do
know.
that.
Or do,
You
yeah,
know,
I know.
feel like if I have an opposite for something, then I'll make
Yes.
sure like at least we're together
Right.
as much as possible.
Type shit.
But I know there's like an assistant, you know, choreographer or even if there's not.
Yeah.
But usually like if there is, then I've learned that usually it's been better to like let them do that.
them.
You know. And it's also too like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people don't want to be helped.
That's true.
That I'm just like, well, unless like you're drastically going down in flames.
Going down, help me. You see me going down in flames, you better
know?
help me, friend.
It's just such a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird thing that it's almost like situational, you know?
It's a good, yeah, it is. I think it's a situational.
But if, for sure, like if I have an opposite, I'll at least like pull them to the side and be
sure
like,
we look right.
just to make sure like we're on the same page.
Yeah, I feel it. From Instagram, Isis, she's a dancer in San Diego. She says actually a lot of her personal training ideas comes from dancing and what people need physically. So when she's on the job, she's in dancer mode, helping people like normal people, normies, like, you know,
Non-dancers?
from non-dancers. That's probably a better way to say it.
Probably.
I always call them normies. I'm like, maybe that's not a good, nice
Muggles.
way to say. But muggles. Period. But coming from a dancer and helping, but dancers have such a good understanding of our bodies. So
Yeah.
I feel like as a personal trainer, she's probably killing it in that
Yeah.
way, to be honest.
Well, also too, I feel like specifically like a personal training will help you have better longevity as a dancer. Because I feel like
yeah.
I've danced through so many injuries and it's made it worse.
Bro, the injury thing, yeah. Now that I have a better understanding of my body, I'm way less injured than I was in my 20s. I was injured all the time in my 20s.
All the time.
So I want to talk about social media because this, oh my God, the social media.
It's a whole different conversation.
The multiple pages in order to separate all my business like endeavors, and it's so annoying and so hard for me to keep up with because my personal page I'm trying to keep very bookable, but then I have like my podcast page, and then I have my classes page, and then I have some people that are like, it's okay to have everything all together. Like, what is? Because I think it's just person to person. What's your take? Like, do you like to separate everything? Do you like everyone to know that you are a package of a coach and a professional dancer? Like, what's your feel on it?
Well, for one, it's like I know social media is like great for business, and maybe it's a space that I'm in. But I also I'm like I just don't care.
Period.
Social
not
media.
care.
As much as like giving it more energy than what it is.
Right.
And it's like I had this conversation with one of my best friends, Valley, who's like beyond an amazing singer. And I remember like I was like sitting on her couch and I was like looking at my page and she was on her phone. And it wasn't like a thing where we were like this the whole time.
Right.
We were having a moment.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I need to get more followers. And it's like, me too. And I was like, who cares? Like, because also what I've learned, and this is facts.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it to camera.
Yeah.
popularity doesn't mean profits.
We don't know that. I know that's right.
Like, it doesn't.
No.
But to answer your question, I feel like for some people, they're so great with like keeping it separate and like really curating a space for their page. And I'm also like, it's such a fast moving thing that for at least for like stuff like Instagram, that I'm like, let it be whatever I want it to be, you know? And I have a separate page for like coaching, but I'm like, why would I spend all that energy trying to build it up and do this?
Yeah.
When really realistically, it's like people are going to buy into the person and the whole package and the whole brand.
I feel like
Granted, I feel like also know that social media can be like a double-edged sword. So like, don't put everything on there, you know? And I know that we live in a space where everybody's like, oh, I also want to show like the bad side and all those things. And it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I also know that I don't really need to like really see that energy the way a lot of people present it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like you got to put like a fake smile and like put a positive spin on it. But I think that when it comes to social media, it should just be like what it is.
Just
like
100%.
Just something that's on your phone and you're sharing your stuff, like your art, who you are as a person, but don't share everything.
Yeah.
You know?
People get too caught up.
Yeah, it's funny. Like somebody messaged me earlier today who I didn't know. And like before I would never respond, but I've also missed like opportunities that way. So like now I always respond, like just to see what it is. Yeah. And the conversation was immediately going like to a weird place. I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go. But I'm like, just let social media be what it is. And if it's for business, then obviously like put some time into it to like master it. I know for me, when it comes to like coaching and like high ticket clients, usually those clients are found on like LinkedIn.
Yes.
And that type of platform.
Yeah, it's a different audience.
Different audience, right? You can find those clients on Instagram, but it's a different audience to like work with and cut through, right? Yes. So it's like whatever thing that you're pushing or selling or building, it's like what is the best platform? Yeah. For entertainers, it is like Instagram. Yeah. And TikTok, but mostly like I feel like it's still Instagram. Yeah. But it's like, whatever. Like, just whatever you want to do with it, just do with it. Yeah. As long as it feels good and it's healthy and authentic, and it's not like blatantly offensive.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I recently, I don't want to deactivate it. I feel like deactivating is like so serious. But like my teaching stuff, like I used to put it all on my page, but then I'm like, I want people to see like my dancing. Not that they can't see my students dancing, but back when I was teaching a lot, it was like all my students on my page. Mm-hmm. So I was getting to the point where I had to make a separate page. So I made a separate page for that. And then when I started the podcast, it's all like podcast videos and like, you know, sometimes you go to dance classes and you don't be getting videos. Like that's just, especially here in LA, like we're very spoiled in San Diego. Everybody gets a video. But like in LA, like I'm be going to dance classes all the time. I don't get videos. You know what I mean? Like, just because I'm just like in training mode, you know? And so then I'm like, oh shit, my page has nothing but podcast videos on there like right now. And so people are like, you still dancing? Like, and then recently, like this last month, like that's why I was like, oh my God, this is so serendipitous. Like, that I'm stopping teaching because I ran into like 3 or 4 people and they were like, you're a teacher. And this was coming from like choreographers. And I'm I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, I'm like, when you teach. And I'm like, no, I want to be like booked by you. Like I'm trying to go to your class. Like I'm trying to be.
But that's so great though.
I know, but like that's not the era I'm trying to be in right now.
Well, but think about it. Like I think about it like this, right?
So
it's
weird.
Like if you're a teacher, specifically of dance, then you know how to communicate. Mm. You also probably usually have greater attention to detail. Mm. That you could probably be like a dance captain or like assistant choreographer. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, yeah, like own it.
That's
you know,
true.
I get it.
I feel you. Yeah.
I get it.
Now I'm looking. Okay, I get that. Okay.
And then also like even as far as the page, like when I say like I don't care, like I don't care about, you know, like
The
how many
number.
likes anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like
fuck that.
I'm not 100,000 like any like I'm like
Same.
whatever. But what I say like I personally do, because I do like a few different things between like acting and coaching and then like dancing.
Right.
It's I try to do like a theme row. So like
Smart.
So,
like
like-
or like 3 in a row.
like
or
dance,
something. Oh,
you know,
okay.
modeling,
I got you.
coaching,
Yes.
you know, some just to keep it very like
I am multifaceted.
but organized. Because before it was kind of like random.
I know, that's how
And
I
I was-
feel right now.
And I remember I was looking at the page and I was like, this is random.
I feel like my page is so random right
You
now.
know,
I'm trying to...
that I was kind of like I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't even know like
What? Who?
what somebody would think if it's like, where is he?
Yeah.
But I think because I care about all those things, you know,
It's hard.
that I try to give them each their shine as much as I could, you know, and if I can't, then whatever. But
That's true. Fucking,
know.
it is what it is. You're gonna get me how I get you. Get me.
yeah,
Awesome. Let's see. So we're gonna wrap up with this last question, and then we'll do a little send off. But
Okay.
what do you see for yourself as far as your business in the future, and then as far as your dancing in the future? I know there's so many ways you can go.
So what I'm working towards establishing in terms of like scale, because I feel like I'm there just at like quite a few notches below.
Yeah.
Is literally I say I'm like, if Tony Robbins and Jennifer Lopez had a baby,
Bitch.
it'd be me.
I love it.
So in the future, like I am working towards getting, you know, my entertainment career to that scale and my coaching practice to that scale. And not necessarily in terms of like recognition and like finances, but in terms of like level of impact, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Because I know, like, there's some people say so many things about everybody. Like, people say negative things about Tony Robbins.
Of course.
You know, people are always like hating on J-Lo, like for whatever the reason, you know. But I feel like you can't deny their level of impact and work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like
And confidence. in
and
themselves.
confidence, and yeah, people may not love J-Lo, but it's like usually you love when I'm Real comes on, or you love On the Floor, or you'll hear a Tony Robbins quote over somebody's Instagram reel or whatever. So like really creating kind of like a legacy of work that will just keep giving.
Yeah.
And also like planning for like myself, like I also plan on like being rich.
Period.
Because also
Nothing
too,
wrong with that.
listen, like I feel like before I would be like, oh, I want to get rich, and I would be like almost like afraid to say it because like, what are they gonna think? For one, it's like, who cares what they're gonna think? Because they're gonna think about you what they were thinking about you before.
Yeah.
Usually, and also like having money is such a good thing. Like I feel like when good people do good, you can do more good.
Okay, so I follow. Do you know Brooke Castillo? She's like female. She's like female Tony Robbins.
Okay.
But she says, don't like if you want to make $100 million, don't focus on making $100 million. Focus on having $100 million worth of value to give to people.
Yeah.
And like that, I feel like having like you're not doing bullshit. You're changing lives. Like you're not like it's not like you're scamming people. Like you have value to share. Yeah.
You know, but I think it's great to have that as a goal. Like if you want to be rich, and like that's a great thing.
It's a great goal.
Like you want to be financially stable, it's a great thing.
Everyone should feel like that.
You know, I don't know. I feel like for me, I have to like unlearn the idea that like, you know, rich people are bad people or
Evil.
whatever the saying is, or
They were
or
evil
like
people
money is the root
already.
of all evil.
They
It's
were
like,
gonna be bad already.
I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's
It's
not.
the person. It's not the
Like,
money.
if that's your mindset, it's like, hire me as your coach.
You heard it here first. Awesome. I absolutely love it. I think we basically just like emphasized how multi-talented and multi-hyphenated dancers are. We're just like
Yes.
so much more than dancers, and I think it's really important for other dancers to see that we can be inspired by other people. We could be mentors, we could be coaches, we could be business owners.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we kind of touched on it, earlier in the episode, but dancers aren't getting paid enough. So there's nothing wrong with wanting more money for yourself. That's for damn sure.
And diversifying your income.
Yeah, period. So I love it. I love that we had you here, Pepz.
Thank you.
Today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we sign off, or before we do our this or that game,
Okay.
I want you to tell everybody where they can find you, what's your Instagram, if you have a website, if you have any coaching opportunities coming up, how they can get in your bag.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Pepz, P-E-P-Z _ Javier, Javier, Pepz _ Javier. My website for coaching is peptalkwithpeps.com. It's the name of my company. Yeah, as far as getting into my coaching bag right now, I'm working on a few things to like really not necessarily like educate, but also like to allow people to explore themselves in a different way.
Yeah.
One thing that I've been thinking about doing, which I think I'm going to do, is I have my online course called Get to Your Goal.
Yeah.
And I think I might just release it for free for like.
Ooh, we love free content.
Yeah, I think I might just do that.
Yeah. Do you have a mailing list?
I do.
Okay, period.
I do.
So what we'll do is give me all your stuff.
I will.
Give me all your stuff. And in the show notes, you guys already know. If you guys, I'll put all of his information, his mailing list, his website, his Instagram, and all of that, so you guys can get in direct contact.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give the course for free.
Look
I
at
don't know for how long, but
wow.
I think I'm just gonna do it. Yeah.
You should do a code, and
Okay.
it's an on point. No, I'm just playing. We'll work something out next time, or we'll talk about it afterwards.
I'm down.
All right, perfect. Are you ready for this or that game?
Born ready.
Okay, period. Here we go. All right, so this or that, dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Oh.
Your answer determines our friendship right now.
Milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate friend. I'm a dark chocolate girl.
I do like dark chocolate.
Okay, you can go both ways. It's okay.
But I also know like
You like it sweet.
I do.
Mm-hmm. I like the bitter.
I do eat more dark chocolate now.
You do?
But I love a good like Three Musketeers.
Okay, period.
Or like the Lindt chocolates.
I'm not even gonna lie, I be eating those up though, and they are milk chocolate.
Mm.
I might have to agree with you on this one,
Those are
especially
really
if they're
good.
Lindt.
Is that how you say it? Lindt?
Lindt.
Lind?
I don't know, guys.
I don't know.
You guys can leave a comment. Michael Jackson or Prince? I know it's hard to compare the two. I know.
Okay, I feel like I need to give a breakdown for this.
Okay, give a breakdown.
So, me personally, I feel like, cause like I'm working on music right now, and like that, I feel like I'm more in the school of Prince.
Yes.
You know, especially because like Prince was very like androgynous at points, and he was very like.
I grew up on Prince more than Michael, but I do love Michael. Like,
I love Michael.
Like, don't get us fucked up.
I love Michael.
I love Prince.
Yeah.
Prince is like sexy.
There's a song. What is it? I'm blanking on the name, but it's
You can sing it.
It's like not even a song that he really sings.
Oh.
It's like a live recording.
Was he moaning on it or?
I don't know. It's mostly like a song that I feel like his band was playing at a concert. And I don't know if he sings as much as he like ad libs
Moans.
or like adds like yes or whatever he was adding. I don't know. I have to find it. But I
Send it to
remember,
me.
oh, it's such a good song. Also,
Okay.
Michael's song, "Get on the Floor."
I've had um Rock My World and Butterflies on repeat for the last I don't know why.
I love "You Rock My
I don't
World."
know why, but like it's just been like repeat for like the last like month or so.
Yeah,
Like I'm just in like in a Michael bag in that way. Being coached or having a coach?
being coach or having a coach. Like me being.
Yeah, you being coached? Or would you prefer being coached yourself or having a coach yourself? If you had to pick one.
Wait, what's the difference?
Being someone coaching you or you coaching someone else?
Okay, because I thought you were saying like being coached.
Right. Yeah.
Then I was like, what?
You're like, that's the same thing, girl.
So having a coach
There we
or
go.
coaching somebody.
Yeah, there we go. This is a hard one. I'm trying to think what I would.
You know, for me in specific, and this is like a study, so let me give you the study first. So like 2% of people are natural, like get it done by themselves.
Oh.
Like it's like statistically it's like 2%, or I think around 2%.
Hello.
So I say that because I never need somebody to like hold me accountable.
Yeah.
Like my fitness trainer, he's always trying to like be like, send in your check-ins or whatever.
Like,
Like he's
no,
like,
I
I want to
got
make
it.
sure that you're doing the workouts. I'm like, you don't need to do that.
I got it.
Like it's
I got
it's
this.
getting done. So I would say for me, like coaching somebody, you know,
It's the natural inclination.
yeah. But I love being coached too,
Yeah.
especially like if it's a great coach.
That's a hard one.
It's a really hard one. What would you say?
I think in this era of my life, I would say having a coach myself.
I think I also see like your era.
Just right now.
dictate it, yeah.
I think in the past, I really would have been like, I would like to be the coach, but I don't think I've done that enough recently, and I really want to be in that bag right now.
Got
Just
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now. In
Yeah.
the future, it might change.
Yeah.
That might be a flexible answer. House or Vogue? Damn! Don't make me pick. Fuck! I know this is hard too. Fuck! What? Ah!
House or Vogue? It's crazy because those are like the two styles right now that I've been like just really focusing
In the
on.
bag. I know, and that's the ones that like we've like met
Yeah.
and like be. I know. Damn. Not gagged.
Completely.
I love them both.
I do. I think for me, what it is,
Should
it's
we say
like
both of them? We can say both
we
of
can say
them.
both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can say both of them.
It's just I don't know. For me, like I don't know if it's like maybe like you feel this too, but what I love, especially about like what I love about dancing,
Yeah.
is I feel like dancing just allows me to, especially like when I allow myself to like release and get out of my head and just like let the music like take over. It's like whatever my body wants to do, like it does that, but because of the music,
Ooh, yeah.
you know.
I love house music.
And I love house music.
But I like Vogue. I was like, I'm like in my femme bag. I'm not really in that bag a lot. And I was like, I like this.
Oh, Vogue Femme.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like with the Vogue Femme, it's like you can especially be like a very like almost exaggerated version of yourself. You
I was
know?
like, ooh, I'm never really in that bag. I kind of love it.
Yeah. She's fun.
Okay, so we'll say both on that one. East Coast or West Coast? Because I didn't know you were East Coast shouty. You have to pick on this one.
I do.
Look, this was our deal.
I feel like East Coast.
Ooh! Why?
I think it's a few reasons. It's like now that
They're
I'm
very
older.
different. Yeah,
Now that I'm older, my family's still on the East Coast.
of course.
But I don't know. It's like just something about like going back home.
Yeah.
And like also, LA has good food, but nothing like New York.
Look,
It's
I
just
need to make an East
not
Coast trip.
Mind you, LA has a great food.
Yeah.
There's actually this restaurant called the San Laurel
Yeah.
at the Conrad downtown. It's like a Michelin rated restaurant. It's like hands down one of the best dining experiences you'll ever have. Like the food, like I'm like salivating thinking about it right now.
What
So,
part of the East Coast are you from?
so I grew up between Rhode Island and New York.
Okay.
So actually I was born in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And we moved to the East Coast. We like landed. When I say we, it's weird because like we came in like waves. Like my dad came first and like different waves. So our family mostly is in New York, and then we ended up in Rhode Island like very quickly after like the rest of us landed.
Yeah.
But we would always go back and forth to New York, like at least like once a month. But I'm like, why would you guys move here? We're gonna go there all the time. And then I moved back to New York full time when I was like 17.
Okay, I got you. Well, shit. Okay, then East Coast it is. All right, this is the last one.
Okay.
This was always the best one. And I think, okay. So are you going on tour with Jennifer Lopez or are you going on tour with Christina Aguilera? I love that you like think about your answers. Oh!
Because there's so many things that are running through my mind. Like, coming.
And I forgot to tell you, they like your answer determines like they're outside the door right now, so they're gonna take you like right after this. So pick wisely.
What would you say?
Fuck. Oh shit. Okay, so I think I would say damn. Not the reverse Uno.
I'm gonna answer, but I'm just curious
Okay,
what you would say. Imagine reverse, draw four.
Okay, damn, that is hard. Okay, so I really.
And you would have said Britney, I would have been like Britney.
Really?
Yeah, because Britney inspired me to dance.
Britney is a vibe. Jennifer Lopez. I kind of like Jennifer. They both have great music. I really can't even right now. I might have to say Jennifer Lopez because I think I like. Damn, she be dancing too, right?
Yeah.
Christina has ballads.
I think J-Lo has a really great show.
I would think
Like, she has a
that too.
really great show.
I'm sure Christina does too.
I'm sure she does too, but I feel like J-Lo, like I saw her Vegas show, and that shit was
It's a show.
amazing.
It's a show.
I've never seen Christina live, but I remember like, oh, this is crazy.
Okay.
And then also I just watched J-Lo's like Apple Music concert that she just like did. And I'm like,
iconic.
she's just getting better and better like every single time, you know?
I'll say J-Lo only because I feel like Christina has ballad. Like I can't think of a J-Lo ballad off the top of my head right now. And like, so we'll be dancing more if we're with J-Lo.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm gonna say. So
But I've heard like Christina's a fun tour. Like I've heard like she likes to go out with her dancers and she likes to like chop it up. So I was like, does J-Lo do that?
We'll just have to go on tour with Christina
Both of them
afterwards. Okay.
They should headline a tour together.
There we go.
And we'll
just do like a double feature.
Double feature.
Period. No problem. Finished. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Pepz, thank you so much for coming on the show. You guys already know if you liked this episode, make sure that you comment, like, share, subscribe, send this over to a friend who maybe is a business owner themselves, is an entrepreneur, but also a dancer and artist, so they can hear our take on it. And we will talk to you guys later.